Hey everyone! Welcome back to our channel. Today's story is a bit funny and a little bit crazy. It's about a man who accidentally signs up for a kids' marathon and doesn't realize until it's too late. If you enjoy funny stories and want to improve your English, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment below about your favorite English words. Let's get into it. The big mistake. It was a beautiful Saturday morning, and David had been preparing for the marathon for weeks. He had always wanted to run a full marathon, but the idea of running 26 miles seemed overwhelming. So, he decided to start with something smaller, something that would ease him into running. That's when he saw an advertisement for a local marathon in his neighborhood. The advertisement promised a fun run, perfect for beginners. David thought, this is it. This will be my first race, and I'll start small. He quickly signed up for the marathon online, paid the registration fee, and started training. Every morning, he ran a few miles, building up his stamina and feeling more and more excited as the race day approached. He was nervous but determined to finish the race, no matter what. As the race day got closer, David checked the event details again. He was surprised to see that it was called the Junior Marathon, but he didn't think much of it. He figured it was just a catchy name for a race. After all, marathons didn't have different categories, right? It was just about running the distance. Feeling confident, David packed his running gear and set out for the event. When David arrived at the event location, he immediately noticed something strange. There were a lot of parents with their children, and the kids looked very young. They were all excited and talking about how they couldn't wait for the race to begin. David thought to himself, maybe there's a big crowd today. It must be a popular event. But as he walked closer to the registration desk, he started to notice something even stranger. The shirts they were handing out were kid sizes, and the race packets seemed to be tailored for young runners. Feeling a little confused but not wanting to make a scene, David shrugged it off. Maybe it was just a fun run for all ages, and the kids' shirts were a coincidence. He registered and received his number, Junior 57. As he got ready for the race, he started to notice more and more kids around him. They were all jumping around, stretching their legs, and talking excitedly about the race. Some of them were even wearing superhero costumes. David took a deep breath and started to stretch, trying to ignore the fact that he was surrounded by children. It's just a race, he told himself. I'm here to run and have fun. But as the race started, something unexpected happened. The children shot off the starting line like rockets, and David found himself running behind a group of kids who were already way ahead of him. At first, David thought it was a fluke. Maybe they were just really fast for their age. But as the race continued, he realized something: he was still surrounded by kids, and they were all running faster than him. The race route seemed to be shorter than expected too. It wasn't the marathon distance that David had imagined. The signs along the route said things like, "Great job, Junior," and "Keep going, little runner." Now, David was starting to panic. Wait a minute, he thought, this isn't a regular marathon. This is a kids' race. He pulled out his phone and double-checked the event details. His stomach sank as he read the words, Junior Marathon, a fun run for children aged 5 to 12. David had made a huge mistake. He had accidentally signed up for a marathon designed for kids. He couldn't believe it. There was no way to turn back now. The race had already started, and he was too far into it to quit. He was committed. So, despite the embarrassment, David decided to keep running. He knew it would be funny, but he also knew that quitting wasn't an option. Besides, he had already trained for this race, so he might as well finish what he started. The struggles and laughs. As David continued running, he began to realize that the kids weren't just fast, they were also full of energy. Some of the kids were running in circles, laughing, and even doing little cartwheels as they went along the route. David, on the other hand, was struggling to keep up. His legs were sore, and he was starting to feel embarrassed. How was he supposed to explain this to everyone later? At one point, he passed a group of parents who were cheering for their children. They looked at David and smiled, thinking he was just another adult runner who was helping the kids out. But when David passed them and they realized he was part of the race, their smiles turned to confused looks. David tried to smile back, but it was hard. He felt like a fish out of water. Every time he thought he was making progress, one of the kids would zoom past him, leaving him behind. This is ridiculous, he thought. I'm getting beaten by a 10-year-old girl in a princess costume. But then something surprising happened. David started to laugh. The whole situation was so ridiculous that it became funny. He had signed up for the wrong race, yes, but he was doing something that most people wouldn't have the guts to do. He was finishing it. Sure, he was running behind kids, but he was still running. And that counted for something. As he neared the finish line, David was completely exhausted. The kids had already finished and were playing around the finish line, waiting for their medals. But David didn't care. He was just happy to cross the line. When he finally reached the finish, the race volunteers cheered for him, and he couldn't help but smile. He had done it. He had finished a race he never should have been in, but he had finished it nonetheless. David learned an important lesson that day. Sometimes life throws unexpected challenges at you, and the best thing you can do is roll with the punches. It didn't matter that he had signed up for the wrong race. What mattered was that he kept going, even when it seemed like everything was working against him. After the race, David took a moment to reflect on the whole experience. He was embarrassed, yes, but he was also proud. He had completed a race in a way no one had expected, and he had learned that sometimes the mistakes we make can turn into the most memorable and rewarding experiences. Did you enjoy this funny and inspiring story? If you want more stories like this, like, subscribe, and comment below. Have you ever had an embarrassing moment that turned into something memorable? Share it with us. Don't forget, we upload new videos every day with stories and English tips to help you improve.